magnificent city of Manchester! And the Betway Premier League, all brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation, live on Sky Sports, where it's time now to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, into his second Premier League, the former Lakeside champion, that's simply known as the Cobra, Jelle Klaasen! And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, a former Premier League finalist and the former two-time back-to-back champion of the world, Jackpot, Adrian Lewis.
Match for all tonight, Jelle Klaasen, Adrian Lewis. Just one win in the league so far for Klaasen. Has to pick up at least a point tonight, Rod Harrington, to survive.
Yes, it's a big game because Adrian Lewis has come into some good form and rolling off some really low legs. Klaasen, you know, it's been documented he's got a bad wrist problem, may have to have an operation. But he's going to have to forget about that because, as you said, Dave, he needs 1 point, otherwise he'll be going home with Kim Hybrex.
Lewis, as you mentioned, coming good at the right time. Only 7 points, but 2 wins in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. You know, the form of late is what you go by. I mean, last week you rolled off 3 brilliant legs against Hybrex to get control of the game. And as you can see, Adrian Lewis' form improving. He's rolling off more and more legs. So as this Premier League comes to its conclusion, hopefully he'll be right on fire.
Wayne Marlin, Rod Studd in commentary.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, it's draw or better or bust for Jelle Klaasen. For Adrian Lewis, a win would catapult him back into the top 4. Well, Klaasen was already feeling his wrist before the walk-on. So, who knows what pain he's in throwing the darts. What we have seen, generally, is he's played better at the start of matches, and then, presumably, the pain has become so much that it's become impossible to throw with the requisite force.
134. Yeah, the darts need to be propelled. And unfortunately for Jelle, he does have trouble just kind of flicking them from the wrist.
Well, last week it was painful for Jelle to throw, and it was painful to watch. So sad to see Jelle throw like that.
It is indeed. Adrian looking for a treble and a treble to leave 170, making a mess of it. Slow start from both. Adrian Lewis, if he can put in a big one here, should be 82 left, shouldn't it?
114.
It was unlucky.
Well, he's been the maximum man in the last few weeks, Adrian Lewis. He's hit 17 in the last 3 matches.
125. Adrian Lewis, 122.
Another. Double 7.
150.
Well, he was aggressive.
Jelle Klaasen, 93.
Trying to leave his favourite double 18. Lewis is trying to leave double 2, which he has, which he's hit.
Shot the first leg. Adrian Lewis. Second leg is Adrian to throw first.
When Jelle Klaasen hit that 19, I personally thought he was going to go for the double to leave tops. He's done that before.
85.
Adrian Lewis just not in a rhythm as yet.
81.
Well, perhaps the biggest problem for Lewis is he's turned up here tonight. He knows exactly what you and I know, is that Klaasen's wrist is causing him problem, and he knows that everyone expects him to win in a common canter.
Yeah.
Which may not put you in the right frame of mind.
16.
Can only be harder to play. It's quite evident that Jelle Klaasen cannot propel the dart in. So therefore, the accuracy is just not there.
59.
Well, he picked off the treble 18 to give himself quite a chance here, because Lewis isn't going to threaten the 160 out.
80.
Well, here's a chance for Klaasen. 60 for ball. No. Oh, and then to add insult to injury, quite literally.
That leaves tops.
40.
Well, not the way he wanted to get to tops, but he eventually had a dart.
45.
For 2-0. He's got to concentrate here, Adrian Lewis.
He's on the second leg. Adrian Lewis.
2-0 it is.
Just have to feel for Jelle. Averaging 77. And whilst it kind of looks similar, the force isn't there.
140.
And as you just saw, the follow through and release of Jelle Klaasen's arm and wrist is quite stressful on that wrist, so you're going to have to be careful with that it doesn't do any more damage.
95.
Well, it will be. Yeah, you're making a good point there, actually, because if he doesn't get a draw here, he's out. And there'll be some people that say, well, should he not play in Cardiff because he's only going to make it worse and there's no discernible benefit? But then, of course, it just throws the whole thing out of kilter, doesn't it? There's no time to get the matches replayed, which we had when Michael was out with a bad back. So he's going to have to play, really, I think.
I didn't care, I pulled out. If you're not well enough to play, you're not well enough to play.
Well, then, that's what happened when you were ill with him. Really nasty bout of bumps. They have to expunge every match against Klaasen for the record. Let's wait for next week and work that out. 1, 2, 3 left for Adrian Lewis. 103. It's better.
160.
Well, you hear up and down the country, all over the world, just play the ball.
86.
No one plays the ball. Adrian Lewis is averaging 84. He's playing Jelle Klaasen here. This is to go 3-0.
27. Jelle requires 74.
Klaasen hasn't had a dart at a double yet. But he's going to have one now at double top. Now to the blue, Jelle Klaasen. Nicks a leg. Lewis was first to double, he missed 2, as you saw. And now it's only 2-1. And a sloppy leg here. And before you know it, it could be 2 each. And Adrian Lewis will be scratching his head thinking, what's going on here?
42.
Adrian Lewis looks like he knows that all he has to do is keep straight, hit the odd treble, and he'll be fine. If the doubles go in, well, that's easier said than done.
140.
Well, it's an understandable frame of mind, but one that can be very difficult to extricate yourself from. As Klaasen hits the first maximum of the match. My. Yellow time.
137.
Well, it got Adrian's attention, didn't it? It's in again. Picked up the pace, you can see that.
104.
That can only help.
84, can he actually see the treble?
Well, I don't get the counting at all, because you can easily go 48 for 36 off of that.
Yes.
That would have been the best way.
68. Jelle Klaasen, 46.
Double 10. Oh, and he's levelled the match, Jelle Klaasen.
Jelle Klaasen. Looks like he's yelling at the
Oh, there wouldn't be many people expecting him to do that from 0-2. And Adrian Lewis certainly wasn't one of them. He's got the throw here, Klaasen.
96.
He's up to his pace, and he kind of fancies it now, you feel. Jelle.
100.
A little spring in his step. Thinking, hold on, mate, you think you've got me, do you?
96.
Peter Ronnick was an odds-on favourite to beat Phil Taylor. Adrian Lewis 2-1 on to dispose of Klaasen here, but becoming embroiled. And Gerwin winning with the minimum of fuss against James Wade, and we'll see MVG against RBB later.
Can Adrian, it's 7th 140 to leave tops.
100.
Feeling he's just trying that a little bit too hard now. He's not finding it easy playing Jelle on this occasion.
40.
Well, a shake of the wrist from Klaasen as Lewis has 2 at double 10.
60.
Well, he will be back unless the ailing Klaasen can produce something spectacular. He's not with it on this visit, so Lewis 3 at 20.
77. Adrian Lewis 20.
Well, that's awkward. Got to move over. Double 5. Adrian Lewis takes a 3-2 lead. It's not a classic of a game, but it's kind of compelling in its own way.
Oh, it's a Klaasen of a game, because this is what Jelle has had to deal with over the last few weeks with the pain of the wrist. He's relying on dragging his opponent down, isn't he? It's not a tactic of him doing that, but he's relying on his opponent getting bogged down with the fact that Klaasen's struggling.
Yeah. But this is definitely the worst Jelle Klaasen has played in a long, long time. It's not a coincidence.
81.
It's a shame, that's what it is. Don't want to see any professional sportsman not being allowed to play at their best.
62.
Yeah, last week Klaasen averaged 86, but tonight around about 9 points below that.
140.
He's still in this match, incredibly, really.
56.
Definitely still in this match now, because if he can get out in 6 from 229.
123. Adrian Lewis 150.
60.
92. Jelle
106 for 3 apiece. Tops.
86. Adrian require 58.
Walked with that last start, that's why it went low.
Double top. The target that Klaasen missed, Lewis has hit, and he's 2 legs clear again now, and that will be a relief to the jackpot.
100.
As he looks to move into the top 4 in the table. If he does that,
85.
it will be MBG, Wright, Anderson and Lewis in the top 4 as we move into the final match of the evening.
100.
Yeah, over the next 5 weeks there's going to be plenty of chopping and changing in positions 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, you think. Who will the 4 playoff players be? Difficult to call.
60.
Well, you saw there Adrian throw the first 2 quicker and then slow down for the last. Clearly hasn't found the rhythm that he'd probably been doing on the practice board.
Well, the frustration mounts for Adrian Lewis, but in and amongst all that, he does actually lead this match 4-2.
It hasn't been easy though, has it?
No.
It's been real hard work for him.
Yeah, well, he's making it look hard work and all, isn't he? Oh dear. Well, 1-3, and if he chucks a bounce out, that'll be the O.
146.
Another there, perhaps, which would have left double 13.
90.
In any regard, he leaves a 2-darter.
Well, he missed this in the last leg. 54. That leaves 32 for 5-2. Tops. Double 10.
36. Yellow require 32.
Oh, double 16 to pull within 1 and win a leg in 22 darts. A rare species indeed in the Premier League.
I actually think that Jelle Klaasen should throw for the lower doubles, because I do feel that he's struggling to reach. 32 would be way better to leave than tops or 36.
Great point.
60.
And extrapolating your point, would you throw at 19s from the get-go?
Quite possibly, yes. If I knew I was struggling that much, just trying to force them up, yes. Staying there.
58.
It's just all a bit of a mishmash of the odd good throw.
93.
Second of 93s, puts him within 10.
100.
He has not thrown a maximum tonight, Adrian Lewis, up to press in the 8th leg.
59.
Firing them in from all angles in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, I like that. Should go 5-3 up.
100. Adrian require 24.
If you miss 24, you really want to go on the outside.
Let's
give yourself a marker, but did not need it.
100.
Well, the packed house here in Manchester, eagerly awaiting the 2 Dutch darting dynamos, Van Barneveld and Van Gerwen. He's got to come away from that, he just can't seriously throw at that. That really was clinging on by its fingertips to the cliff edge.
100.
We'll switch.
105. 40. Yellow uniform 157.
57. Tops! Just cannot get there. A cracking effort. He's in total control of the leg for a change, so leaving double 10, I don't think that will bother him.
Yellow uniform 20.
Well, he's got 6 out if he wants. 2 would do. It's back within 1, as we kept saying. Adrian Lewis is making such heavy weather of this. It's looking like a man trying to wade through custard, and he only needs to throw 1 bad leg on throw, and this doesn't look like it's going to be it, and he would get Klaasen back with a chance of levelling the match. But that opening salvo was crucial.
137.
I wonder, from a game that was producing nothing,
27.
I wonder if a 180, then followed by another one, could have popped up.
100.
Well, off the back of the 180, the proverbial bag of nails, opening the door here to the Cobra to strike, perhaps venomously. No.
54.
Well, 140 there, which never materialised, but Lewis would have been under the cosh. Still might be, Wayne.
He's only 1 throw away from becoming absolutely embroiled, isn't he? It's not panic stations yet, but believe me,
122.
it's not that far away.
94.
Bullseye 54. Double 18. Tops for a perler.
54. Yellow uniform 80.
Well, this 88 would be a perler in its own way. Oh my, 2 at double 14, and Klaasen is level.
Jelle Klaasen.
Well, that's astonishing. Jelle Klaasen here now has the darts to stay alive in the Premier League and take it to judgment night.
48.
Before that throw, he was actually averaging more than Adrian Lewis.
134.
He's not really backed it up though, has he? And at the end of this match, well, 2 of the all-time greats will duel on the Manchester stage as Barney takes on Mighty Mike. Well, I'll tell you what, imagine if they performed like they did in that World Championship semi-final. Tonight's match is half as good as that, then that semi-final will be twice as good as tonight's. Yes. Well, he's produced here arguably his best leg of the match, Adrian Lewis, because 9 darts thrown to leave 127 just when he was being put under the pump.
42.
And this is what we've seen before, Wayne, hasn't it? Klaasen really struggling in legs 9, 10, 11, 12.
We'll go for a 10.
87.
9 140s to Adrian Lewis, just the 1 to Jelle Klaasen.
28. Adrian 14.
For a guaranteed point. That is 6-5 to Adrian Lewis. It's quite simple. If Jelle Klaasen does not win this leg, he and Kim Huybrechts will be eliminated. Judgment night, well, there'd be no judgments, it would just be week 9. But if he can somehow
59.
rescue a point, kudos to him.
135.
Well, he just hasn't had the fuel. Jelle Klaasen got back to 5-all with that clean 88 checkout. Had the darts in the 11th. Couldn't do anything with them. And Lewis now looking to coast home. Well, I say coast home. Scramble home to a 7-5 success.
Oh, it was a cracking 60, that second dart.
134.
Otherwise, it was all becoming a bit messy and a bit scrappy again. But from 5-all, Adrian Lewis has produced two real
44.
quality legs.
32.
This for a 7-5 win. Not done yet.
16.
Well, well, even if a Tom would leave 120, and Lewis now 3 in hand. Double 4. Double 2.
12.
Good grief. Is Judgment Night going to be back on again? Because Jelle Klaasen here, if he can hit treble 20 with one of his first two, will get a shot. That is a darting disaster, though, and a huge relief to Adrian Jackpot Lewis.
29.
Well, talking of relief, I think he'll only be relieved if he can score 4 points. Does not want to go low again. That is a quality dart, really is. Adrian Lewis wraps the game up. It wasn't a classic, we know that. He beats Jelle Klaasen 7-5. Unfortunately, injured Jelle will be eliminated along with Kim Huybrechts. They will play next week, but Judgment Night will just be called Week 9, I'm afraid, because Jelle Klaasen and Kim Huybrechts are eliminated from the Premier League.